Hey, I just wanted to just jump in real fast and let's have a discussion. I know yesterday I did a video and I didn't even get a chance to look at it, but somebody had told me that it cut off. So I wanted to go ahead and do a part two of the video. I don't have a lot of time, but let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about our relationship Saturday, the second coming. Let's talk about like and love, the in between. And so what happens is that in every relationship, there's first you start to like the person, and like in the liking aspect, that's when you get to know the person, you converse with the person, the new modern age, you text with the person, things of that nature. And in those phases, we always go off of what we like about the person, the one or two things that fascinate us about the person, but we never really investigate the whole person, the person's background, their history, everything in totality. We never really look at that. Why? Because we zoomed in on the one or two things that we liked about the person. And that one or two things that we liked about the person, it attracts us, and we grapple like a fish on a hook. We don't look at whenever you look at the dynamics of a fisherman. Hey, Aquila, whenever you look at the dynamics of a fisherman, the fisherman puts one piece of bait on the hook, and then it has this string that's attached to the fishing rod. And at the end of that fishing rod is this big man or big woman. There's this big man, a big woman that's waiting for them to bite. And immediately after they bite, then what happens? The bait is already hooked and you're captured. And I'm saying to you is that you have to look at the dynamics of the person in totality, the total aim, the person, the persona. You have to look at their demeanor. You have to look at who they are, their being, the description, everything about them in the liking stage before it gets to love. Because once it gets to love, Goff said, he said that the way whatever you love shapes your world. Let me give it to you again. Whatever you love shapes your world. And so we have to look at the dynamics of it. It's crazy because, some people can be so have a yearning and desperation for a relationship that some people, one of the things that, and I used to be the same way. One of the things that used to fascinate me, when I liked somebody was, it used to be the features. And that's in 2016. That's what most men are into. It's not even a matter. And like I said before, and I alluded to this before, prettiness is really not significant in 2016. When you look at the dating capacity, when you look at how people connect and the varying people, whenever you go to the supermarket, look at the man and the woman. Handsomeness. Hey, Tracy, handsomeness and prettiness is out the door in 2016. And so what you find when you find in the compatibility, what you find is that you find a lot of mismatches. People behave, Tracy, because people are really in a settling for mediocrity and settling for average mode. You'll find people when you see people, whereas, the standard used to be you had to have a pretty face, you had to have an education, or you had to have some kind of morals, you had to have some kind of discipline, you had to have something beautiful about yourself. That used to be the standard. Some men, you had to have an education, you had to have some, pretty teeth, so on, everything. But now the standard is people have, in women capacity, the women used to have a checklist. You had to have a job, a good job. You had to be stable, so on and so forth. But the dating capacity or the relationship capacity or the standards to dating has been deeply reduced. You don't even have to have a job to date. Women don't even, from a woman's perspective, you don't even have a job anymore to get their number, to engage them in a conversation, or to be with them. From a man's perspective, you don't even have to have it. Hey, Tammy, you don't even have to be pretty anymore to get a person. I mean, men don't even have standards, and women don't have standards. So what I'm saying to you, to summarize the A clause to what we're talking about, be careful of the dynamics in the liking process. A person has to have more than 3 things that you like about them. Let me give it to you again. A person has to have more than just 3 things that you like about them. Because at the end, because before it gets to the love stage, you're already engulfed into the like stage. Now, the in between, the love and the like. What is your thought process and where are you trying to go with this before it even gets to love? You need to find out where you're trying to go, what role are you trying to play in this person's life, and in what role are you allowing this person to play in your life? Because the role that they take upon in your life was connected to your children, it's connected to your mom, it's connected to your sister, it's connected to your dad, your work, all of that. So what role are you allowing them to play in your life? And so when we get to the dynamics of the love phase, and this is the critical part, and I need you to understand this. When we get to the dynamics of the critical phase, of the love phase, the love phase says that once I get with this person, now I have to fit something, and it's like you get in a new job or a new babysitter or whatever. You have to tailor your schedule around that job. The same way with love. Hey, Nina, the same way with love. When you get that person, you're tailoring your love around that person because now you want to make them a part of your world. Are you hearing me? And so typically when you tailor it, when you fall in love with a person, then it becomes the shape. They begin to shape your world. When you look at Whitney and Bobby, Whitney was a fascinating singer. She liked one thing about Bobby. Getting back to the like stage, she liked his swag. And then when she fell in love with him, her love for him shaped her world. And what happened? Her drug use became insurmountable. She started acting out. She started doing stupid stuff to the degree that she lost her voice from the crack use. She couldn't even, did you hear her last album? It was the worst. And why? Because she shaped her love, shaped her world. Her love for Bobby shaped her world. Be careful of the elements you allow your love to go, or the destination in where you allow your love to go, because it can corrupt you. It can take you to places where you can't come back from. You understand? It can take you to places where, and people think that, I can come back from anything and so on and so forth. No, you can't. When you look at Humpty Dumpty, he fell off the wall and everybody that came around him couldn't even put him back together again. All the king's horses and all the king's men, the kings have clout, and they can't, some element you can't get back, baby. Some time you can't get back. You can't make up for that. I'm saying to you, and let's summarize it because I got to go back to work. The things that we discussed is first the like stage. You have to have more than 3 things that you like about the person. Be careful of the dynamics in which you like this person, because at the end of every bait is a fish hook. And once you get on the hook, you're reeled in. So you have to be, and you have to look at the totality of the person, the whole being of the person, the demeanor. You have to look at their persona. You have to look at what their likes and dislikes, and you have to look at their historicals. What is it? Where did they come from? What is their background? The in between the like and the love is, what role do you want this person to play in your life? And what role are you willing to play in this person's life? And the last but not least is, be careful of who you love and how you love and how you introduce your love to this person, because all of those will shape the way you love a person, will shape your world. Are you hearing me? And so, hopefully this was just some of the thoughts that I thought I'd take upon. But hopefully this was helpful. And I ask that you share it with people, because people need to hear this kind of stuff. The whole dating scheme is a mess in and of itself. So just share this with your people. And I got my little pretzels here. Gary, that's my lunch, but man, look, let me tell you something. You want somebody to love you the way that God loves you. I mean, you want somebody that wants for you what God wants for you. Did you hear me? That's the critical part. You want somebody that wants for you what God wants for you. What does he want? He wants to be merciful to you, that when you make a mistake, he doesn't condemn you. He doesn't beat you down. He shows you how we can correct your mistake. He's forgiving. He's merciful. You want them to not just be in your life, but you want them to represent the God man or the God woman in your life. You hear me? But look, let me get out of here. Look, let me tell you something. Today, I want you to go out. Do me a favor. I want you to just go treat yourself to something and just sit down and think about where he's brought you from. Whether it be a Rita, whether it be a Snowball, enjoy your day loving you. When is the last time you loved on you? Stop trying to love everybody else. When is the last time you partake with yourself and love you? Because he loves you. When is the last time you love yourself? I love you, man, and I'll holler at you later. Holler at your boy. Love you here, Nina. Love you, Tracy. Love you, Aquila. Love you, Tammy. Love you, Monty. Thank you so much for joining. Have an awesome day.